Good morning, dear young minds. Welcome back to biology session. In previous session, we have discussed DNA. What is the structure of DNA? What are the components of DNA? Importance of DNA. Whole topic was completed. Followed by the transforming principle, biochemical characterization of transforming principle. Topic also completed. And experimental proof, DNA, the genetic material. The topic also completed. Hershey and Chase experiments. Hershey and Chase experiments also completed. Today topic continuation, replication. Before replication, already we have discussed properties of genetic material. What is the criteria of genetic material? DNA versus RNA and RNA world. This whole topic also completed. Topic continuation, replication. Very important. First, what is replication? A process in which DNA undergo multiplication or duplication is called replication. The site of replication is exactly S phase of cell cycle. Total cell cycle include two steps, interphase and M phase. Interphase again consists of three subphases, namely G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. Right? S phase means synthesis phase, DNA synthesis phase. That means what? DNA synthesis or DNA duplication or replication takes place particularly S phase of cell cycle. Right? Next, replication occur in DNA at a particular site, that is called ORI, origin of replication, because the length of the DNA too long, it is vary from species to species. Hence, at any cost, DNA replication takes place at a particular site in DNA. The area where natural opening of helix is there, that site acts as ORI. ORI stands for origin of replication, also called ARS. ARS stands for atomic replication sequence. Clear? Simple diagrammatic representation. Replication, five prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime, 5 prime, 3 prime, opposite strand, 5 prime, 3 prime, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, guanine. You know well the structure of DNA and what are the components of DNA. Now you must focus on what is replication. That's important. DNA, the area where replication takes place, that is called ORI, stands for origin of replication, also called ARS, autonomous replication sequence. Autonomous replication sequence, because replication occurs at a particular site in DNA but not entire the length of the DNA. Okay, the area where small natural opening of helix occur in a DNA, that is called ORI. There two strands of DNA would separate from each other. Each strand acts as template. Template means nothing but parent strand. Each template strand synthesizes a new strand. Later, one DNA molecule break into two daughter DNA. First daughter DNA and the second daughter DNA. Daughter DNA. Daughter DNA. If you observe keenly, daughter DNA is made up of one parent strand and one newly synthesized strand. This phenomena is called semi-autonomous or semi-conservative method. Semi-conservative method. Important. Semi conservative method. That means what? After completion of replication, each DNA molecule synthesize daughter DNA. Each daughter DNA contains one parent strand and one newly synthesized strand. Red color strand indicates newly synthesized strand. Such phenomena is called semi-conservative method. Very, very important. Right? That is about replication. Now we will discuss experimental proof for DNA replication. Experimental proof for DNA replication was proposed by Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl. Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl, these two scientists together proposed experimental proof for DNA replication. Meselson and Stahl experiment. Very important for NEET object exam and set exam. Dear students, remember. Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl, scientists, selected a bacteria. Which bacteria? E. coli bacteria, Escherichia coli bacteria. Hence, they performed experiments on Escherichia coli bacteria. First, they took one test tube. Right? And it is filled with 15 ammonium chloride medium, 15 NH4Cl. It was closed with rubber strapper, and they placed a bacteria called E. coli bacteria, Escherichia coli bacteria, E. coli. First, they took one test tube. It was filled with the 15 ammonium chloride, and they placed a bacteria into test tube called E. coli bacteria. Then 15 N molecules. 15 is heavy isotope of DNA. It's not radioisotope, heavy isotope of DNA. Hence, 15 N molecules enter into DNA of E. coli. Hence, E. coli synthesize two types of DNA. Normal DNA, heavy DNA. I am showing here heavy DNA structure. This is heavy DNA. It is made up of 15N and 15N. Hence, it is called heavy DNA. Okay, heavy DNA, it is more in weight. Hence, it was settled at the base of the test tube, bottom of the test tube. Right? Later, Meselson and Stahl collected E. coli bacteria from test tube and centrifuged with the cesium chloride, CSCl, cesium chloride density gradient, and they isolated two types of DNA from E. coli bacteria. One is normal DNA, other one is heavy DNA. Heavy DNA obviously more in weight than to that of normal DNA. Hence, they observed heavy DNA. Due to presence of heavy DNA, E. coli bacteria settle at the base of the test tube. Hence, it is called heavy DNA. Next, heavy DNA with E. coli means what? E. coli with heavy DNA transfer into another test tube. It is filled with fresh medium called 15 ammonium chloride medium, 15 NH4Cl, 15 NH4Cl. Sorry, 14. First time 15, second time 14. 14 is heavy isotope of nitrogen. Okay. E. coli bacteria. Second test tube. E. coli bacteria with heavy DNA transferred to another fresh medium called 14 NH4Cl, 14 ammonium chloride medium. Then 14 N molecules enter into DNA of E. coli. Hence, E. coli synthesize two types of strands. Two strands. Heavy strand and a light strand. Heavy strand and light strand. Okay. Red color strand represent heavy strand 15N and black color 14N. Such a DNA with two different types of strands called hybrid DNA. Hybrid DNA. Okay. Heavy DNA and hybrid DNA. Then after 20 minutes time period, E. coli bacteria synthesize generation 1. First generation 1, important. Because E. coli bacteria reproduce by binary fission. For binary fission, it requires 20 minutes time period. Okay. For replication, it requires 18 minutes time period. 18 minutes. The same E. coli bacteria with the hybrid DNA transfer to another fresh medium. After 40 minutes, E. coli bacteria produce next generation. Observe carefully diagram. Test tube with 14N medium, 14NH4Cl. Clear? Hybrid DNA, light DNA. It is light DNA band. Means E. coli with light DNA, and it represent hybrid DNA. Okay. E. coli with the hybrid DNA, E. coli with the light DNA. Understood? Structure of DNA. Okay. Okay, right. Light DNA, two strands, means two patches, and hybrid DNA also two patches. Light DNA, it is made up of 14N. Hybrid DNA, these two are hybrid DNA. It is again light DNA. Clear? 15N, 14N. Now go through experiment. Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl, these two scientists together performed experiments on E. coli bacteria. First, they took one test tube. It was filled with the 15 ammonium chloride medium. Here 15N, 15 is heavy isotope of DNA. It is not radioisotope, heavy isotope. Remember, important for objective exam. Now, test tube was filled with the 15 ammonium chloride, and they took one E. coli bacteria, placed it into test tube, and the mouth of the test tube closed with the cap or rubber strapper. Then after some time period, what happened? 15N molecules enter into DNA of E. coli. Hence, E. coli synthesize DNA. Two types of DNA. One is normal DNA, means their own DNA plus heavy DNA. How it produce heavy DNA means due to accumulation of 15N molecules into DNA of E. coli. Later, they collected E. coli bacteria from test tube and centrifuged with the cesium chloride density gradient. After centrifugation, E. coli released two types of DNA, heavy DNA and a normal DNA. They studied and observed what is the difference between normal DNA and heavy DNA. Clear? Heavy DNA more in weight, hence E. coli settled at the bottom of the test tube, hence it is called heavy DNA. The same E. coli with heavy DNA transfer into another fresh medium called 14 ammonium chloride medium. Then what happened? 14N molecule, because medium contain 14N molecules, hence 14N molecules enter into DNA of E. coli. Hence E. coli synthesize two types of strands, light strand, heavy strand, light strand, heavy strand. Red color strand indicates heavy strand, black color strand indicates light strand. DNA with the two types of strand called hybrid DNA. The weight of hybrid DNA is less than heavy DNA. Hence, the location of E. coli with hybrid DNA at the exact center part of the test tube. But the location of E. coli with heavy DNA at the bottom base of the test tube. Later, means after 20 minutes, E. coli bacteria synthesize generation 1. After 40 minutes, generation 2. Generation 2, second generation. After 60 minutes, third generation. After 80 minutes, fourth generation. That means what? For every 20 minutes once, DNA number multiply. As all of you know, DNA reproduce asexually by binary fission. For binary fission, for each binary fission, it would require 20 minutes time. For replication of DNA, it require 18 minutes time. Just 18 minutes time. Don't confuse, don't forget here. So, at this rate, E. coli bacteria synthesize DNA or replication of DNA would require approximately 18 minutes time. On this basis, it produces nearly 2000 base pairs. 2000 base pairs per second. 2000 base pairs per second. Because replication occurs very fast in E. coli bacteria. So E. coli bacteria synthesize and replicate DNA 2000 base pairs per second. Very fast than that of higher living animals and plants. Next, come to the point. The same E. coli bacteria with hybrid DNA transfer to another fresh medium called 14 ammonium chloride medium. Already first time 14N molecules entered into DNA of E. coli. Here second time again 14N molecules enter into DNA of E. coli. Hence E. coli synthesize two types of DNA. Two types of DNA. Light DNA, heavy, not heavy, hybrid DNA. Light DNA band, hybrid DNA band. In light DNA, both strands were made up of 14N, 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 14N. But in hybrid DNA, it is made up of 15N, one strand, 14N, another strand. Hence, it is called hybrid DNA. Observe the location of E. coli with hybrid DNA and E. coli with light DNA. The location of E. coli with hybrid DNA exactly at center part of the test tube. And the location of E. coli with the light DNA towards top, means on the top side. Light DNA very less in weight than to that of hybrid DNA. Similarly, hybrid DNA less in weight than to that of heavy DNA. That is the reason, right? In such a way, 1 to 2 copies, 2 to 4 copies, 4 to 8 copies. DNA number increase in double. But note, don't forget, hybrid DNA number remain constant in all generations. In first generation, 2 copies. Second generation, 2 copies. Third generation, 2 copies. In all generations, number of hybrid DNA band remains same. That is constant. 2 copies, 2 copies, 2 copies, 2 copies. But light DNA number gradually increase. Clear? Right? That is Matthew Messelson and Franklin Stahl experiments on experimental proof for DNA replication. Very important. We are expecting one question compulsorily from this area. Right? Then what type of questions frequently asking from this area in NEET exam or SET exams? That is important. E. coli bacteria produce how many hybrid DNA, heavy DNA and light DNA in second generation, third generation or fourth generation? These types of questions frequently asking. Let me show an example. Heavy DNA, heavy DNA made up of 15 molecules. Each strand acts as a template, right? Template means nothing but parent strand. Each template strand synthesizes a new strand. So 1 to 2 copies. First generation. Next, it is called hybrid DNA because DNA with the 2 strands, heavy strand, light strand. Heavy strand, light strand is called hybrid DNA. In hybrid DNA, each strand acts as template. Okay, understand carefully. So red line, red line, red line, red line. Red line indicates heavy DNA, heavy strand. So heavy strand synthesize a new strand. Next, light strand. Light strand also acts as template. Synthesize new strand. So 1 to 2 copies. Similarly, light strand acts as template. Synthesize new strand. Red strand acts as template. Synthesize new strand. So 1 to 2 copies. Total 2 to 4 copies. Second generation. Right? Again, here each strand acts as a template. Then, okay, new strand. 4 to 8 copies. Draw black line. Light strand acts as template. Synthesize a new strand. So 1 to 2 copies. Similarly, there are 2 black lines, means light strands. Light strand, new strand. 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 Third generation. Understood? 1 to 2 copies. 2 to 4 copies. 4 to 8 copies. And 8 to 16 copies. Hybrid DNA, hybrid, means what? In each and every generation, hybrid DNA number remain constant. 2 copies, 2 copies, 2 copies. But light DNA number increase gradually. So, for 8 to 16 copies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Right? This is 4th generation. Right? After 20 minutes, bacteria produce first generation. After 40 minutes, second generation. After 60 minutes, third generation. After 80 minutes, fourth generation. Because for every 20 minutes once, bacteria undergo binary fission, produce next generation, next progeny. Okay. Now, what type of questions asking from this area means, in fourth generation, Escherichia coli produce how many? Heavy DNA, hybrid DNA and light DNA. Light DNA. Okay. Heavy DNA, hybrid DNA, light DNA. Suppose first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. Now our question is mainly focused on fourth generation. Once I repeat, after 80 minutes time period, after 80 minutes, how many heavy DNA, hybrid DNA, light DNA produced in E. coli bacteria? That is the question. Go through diagrammatic representation. Red, black represent hybrid DNA. Hybrid DNA. Right? And black represent light DNA. Light DNA. Clear? Don't confuse. In fourth generation, what is the total number of heavy DNA? Remember, heavy DNA is made up of two red lines, two red color lines called heavy DNA. Okay. Hybrid DNA, one red, one light, one black. Light DNA, both black. That is basic point. Remember, don't confuse. Now what is the total number of heavy DNA in fourth generation? No. 0. Is to hybrid number 1, 2 copies. Is to light DNA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 copies. Clear? 2 1 jar, 2 7. So in fourth generation, after 80 minutes, E. coli bacteria produce heavy DNA 0%, hybrid DNA 1, light DNA 7. Okay, because 2 1 jar, 2 7 jar. This is the answer. These types of questions frequently asking in set exam and NEET object exam. One more question. What is the total number of heavy DNA, hybrid DNA and light DNA produced by E. coli bacteria after 60 minutes? After 60 minutes. Then answer. Observe this picture. Heavy DNA 0. Hybrid DNA 1, 2 copies. Light DNA 3 plus 3, 6. Hence 2 1 jar, 2 3 jar. This is the answer. After 60 minutes, E. coli bacteria produce heavy DNA 0, hybrid DNA 1, means 1 is to ratio 0 is to 1 is to 3. 0 is to 1 is to 3. Number 0 is to 2 is to 6. That's all. These types of questions important for objective exam. That is about DNA replication. Experimental proof done by Matthew Messelson and Franklin Stahl. That's all. Next concept. Transcription. Next topic, transcription. You know well what is transcription? Previously I told transcription, translation when we discussed about central dogma of molecular biology. Transcription means the flow of genetic information takes place. A strand of DNA means one of the strands of DNA to mRNA is called transcription. The site of transcription in eukaryotes, nucleoplasm. In prokaryotes, cytoplasm. Important. End products of transcription, RNA means mRNA, messenger RNA. Okay. DNA. According to definition, transcription means the flow of genetic information takes place from one of the strands of DNA to mRNA. Is called transcription. One of the strands. What about another strand? If two strands involved in transcription, then what happen? Each strand synthesize one mRNA. Means two strands synthesize two mRNA with different sequences of base pairs. The different sequences of bases. First mRNA, second mRNA. Okay, these two mRNA are complementary to each other. So, join with each other to form dsRNA, double-stranded RNA. dsRNA, it never involved in translation mechanism. Always SS mRNA, single-strand mRNA only involved in translation mechanism. When two strands of DNA involved in transcription mechanism, two strands synthesize two mRNA. These two are complementary to each other. Complementary means correct match. These two are complementary to each other and join with each other to form dsRNA. But dsRNA prevent translation mechanism. First region. And secondly, each mRNA synthesize one protein. Two mRNA synthesize two types of proteins. Means one DNA molecule synthesize two types of proteins with different sequences of amino acids. With different sequences of amino acids that complicate transcription and translation mechanism. That is the reason always only one of the strands of DNA information flow to mRNA, that is called transcription. Right? Now we discuss transcription unit. Transcription unit. It is also important. Why two strands of DNA never involved in transcription? When important NEET objective question. Now we will discuss transcription unit. Transcription unit. Basically, transcription unit is made up of two strands. Template strand, and coding strand. Template strand polarity 3 prime 5 prime. Coding strand polarity 5 prime 3 prime. Clear? Promoter, terminator, promoter and terminator. Structural gene. It is called structural gene. ATGC. TACG. Double bond, triple bond. So it is known as structural gene. Okay. This is the structure of transcription unit. Basically, transcription unit is made up of a promoter, the structural gene. The structural gene is made up of limited number of base pairs. First base pair, second base pair, third base pair, fourth base pair, so on, and a terminator. A promoter, the structural gene, and a terminator. These are the parts of transcription unit. Promoter located towards upstream. and the location of terminator at downstream. What is the meaning of upstream and downstream? Upstream means starting point, downstream end point. So promoter located at the fifth end upstream, and terminator located at third end downstream, or promoter located at third end of upstream and fifth end of downstream. That's all. Sometimes question paper setter prepare questions based on diagrammatic representation. In 2019, one question asked based on this diagrammatic representation. Simply they changed dimensions, means polarity of template strand and coding strand. You remember? Don't forget. Template strand polarity always 3', 5', while coding strand polarity 5', 3'. It is standard. Coding strand also called sense strand. Okay. And template strand also called nonsense strand or anti-sense strand. Or master strand. These are the another names of template strand and coding strand. Sometimes question paper setter prepare questions based on indirect terminology. Another terminology. Remember, don't forget. Structural gene is made up of several, limited number of base pairs. Adenine, thymine, adenine, GC, CG, etc. Adenine always pair with the thymine with a double hydrogen bond. Guanine pair with the cytosine with the triple hydrogen bond. That's all, right? And an example, I am writing here template strand sequence ATGC, one unit. Okay, it is template strand, polarity 3', 5'. Template strand. Based on the sequence of template strand, you can write coding strand sequence. Adenine pair with thymine, adenine, GC, CG, TACG. Repeat the same sequence because ATGC repeated same sequence. At the same time repeat TACG because adenine pair with thymine pair with adenine, GCCG. Okay, so repeat the same sequence TACG, polarity 5', 3'. This is coding strand. Understood? Template strand sequence, coding strand sequence. Template polarity 3', 5'. Coding strand polarity 5', 3'. Based on this sequence, how can you write the sequence of mRNA? Because in transcription, a segment of one of the strands of DNA synthesize mRNA. Which strand? Particularly template strand. Template strand synthesize mRNA, but not coding strand. Remember. So based on template strand sequence, we can write coding strand sequence. That's all, right? But mRNA, while writing sequence, you could remember one point: thymine absent in RNA. In the place of thymine, uracil takes place. So adenine pair with thymine. Thymine means adenine. Okay. Sorry. Adenine pair with uracil because in RNA thymine absent. Adenine AU, TA, GC, CG. Repeat the same sequence. Adenine, uracil, thymine, adenine, guanine, cytosine, cytosine, guanine. In the place of thymine, here uracil takes place. So repeat the same sequence. UACG, 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 UACG. This is called mRNA, messenger RNA. Messenger RNA polarity remains same like coding strand. 5 prime, 3 prime. 5 prime, 3 prime. Right? Very simple concept. In the place of thymine, you can write here uracil. Thymine, uracil. Thymine, uracil. Thymine, uracil. Rest of the ACG same. ACG, 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 ACG. Understood now? In such a way, we can write easily mRNA sequence based on the given sequence of DNA. But remember one point, don't confuse. Always template strand synthesize mRNA, but not coding strand. Sometimes in exam, object exam, they give template strand sequence and they ask write mRNA sequence. Sometimes they give coding strand sequence. Coding strand sequence. Based on coding strand sequence, you can write mRNA sequence. Then in such conditions, how can you write? Means very simple concept. Based on coding strand sequence, you can write template strand sequence. Template to mRNA. That is correct procedure. Very simple. First, based on coding strand sequence, we can write template strand sequence. Based on template strand sequence, we can write mRNA sequence. That's all. Very simple mechanism. We are expecting one question compulsorily from this area, right? That is about the transcription unit. Next to transcription, types of transcription. Transcription in prokaryotes and transcription in eukaryotes. Two topics important. The site of transcription in prokaryotes, cytoplasm, but the site of transcription in eukaryotes, nucleoplasm. Okay, don't confuse. Before going to discuss about transcription, you must know some terminology regarding transcription mechanism. Cistron, monocistronic, polycistronic, exons, introns. Important. 5 terms, its meaning, it's important, very important. Cistron means a segment of DNA that synthesizes a polypeptide. A segment of DNA that synthesizes a polypeptide is called cistron. Next, monocistronic means it is a type of structural gene which in turn transcribe mRNA and mRNA, which in turn translate a polypeptide, a type of polypeptide, that is called monocistronic. Next, polycistronic means a type of structural gene which transcribe mRNA, which in turn translate many polypeptides, is called polycistronic. Monocistronic are commonly present in eukaryotes, and polycistronic genes commonly present in prokaryotes. Important, prokaryotes. Clear? Right. Once I repeat, monocistronic means it is a type of structural gene which transcribe an mRNA, which in turn translate a type of polypeptide. That is called monocistronic. These structural genes commonly present in eukaryotes, all eukaryotes. plants, animals, fungus, except Monera members. Polycystonic means it is another type of structural gene which transcribe an mRNA which in turn translate many polypeptides, several polypeptides called polycystonic. It is commonly present in prokaryotes, all kingdom Monera members. Exons. Exons means coding sequences or expressed sequences. Expressed sequences. Clear? Introns means non-coding sequences or IVS, intervening sequences. Exons, introns. An mRNA with exons and introns called split genes. Split genes. Exons are coding sequences, also called expressed sequences. Exons play a crucial role in synthesis of mRNA and protein synthesis. Introns are non-coding sequences, which is also called IVS, stands for intervening sequences. They won't involve in translation mechanism for protein synthesis. Clear? These 5 terms, its meaning important. Now we will discuss translation mechanism in prokaryotes. An example, bacteria. Any type of bacteria, Archaebacteria, bacteria, free living bacteria, symbiotic bacteria, any type of bacteria. Transcription in prokaryotes. Example, bacteria. Okay. Go through diagrammatic representation. First step, initiation, because transcription in prokaryotes, it includes 3 steps: initiation, elongation and termination. First, initiation. Second one, elongation. And third one, termination. Polarity: red strand is template strand, black strand is coding strand. Remember, template polarity 3' to 5'. It is standard 3' to 5', 3' to 5'. While coding strand polarity reverse, 5' to 3', 5' to 3'. 5' to 3'. Clear? Base pairs 1, 2, 3, 4. Each loop has 4 base pairs. The loop, each loop has 4 base pairs. Diagrammatic representation important. Sometimes question paper setter prepare questions based on diagrams, sometimes based on steps. What are the steps present in transcription in prokaryotes? Okay, right. Now, promoter region, terminator region, structural gene. The structural gene. Just now I told transcription unit, same mechanism, same concept. But it is twisted DNA, that was straight DNA, like ladder. That was difference. Sound. Okay. Promoter, structural gene, terminator. Promoter, structural gene, terminator. Promoter, structural terminator. Same. RNA polymerase enzyme. RNA polymerase enzyme play a crucial role in transcription mechanism. Sigma factor. Sigma factor. One more point. I forgot one main point. Replication, transcription differences. The end product of replication is daughter DNA molecules, but the end products of transcription is mRNA, messenger RNA. In replication, DNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme. DNA dependent DNA polymerase enzyme play a crucial role in replication. But in transcription, DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme play a crucial role. Clear? Understood now? That is the major difference between replication and transcription. One more difference, 0. One more difference. See, in replication, 2 strands of DNA acts as template, but in transcription, only one of the strands of DNA acts as template, and that only synthesize RNA. Difference, right? Go to diagrammatic representation. Initiation, elongation, termination. What is initiation? A process of initiation or starting of transcription from promoter region is called initiation. The site of transcription in prokaryotes, cytoplasm. RNA polymerase enzyme present in the cytoplasm of bacteria. RNA polymerase enzyme bind with DNA at promoter region with the help of initiation factor called sigma factor. Sigma factor also called initiation factor. Binds with DNA, enter into DNA at promoter region. Later, it break bonds, it break hydrogen bonds of 2 strands and break bonds between 2 strands. It facilitates the opening of DNA helix. It facilitates the opening of DNA helix. 2019 NEET objective exam question. Which enzyme play a crucial role in opening of DNA helix in transcription? Answer: RNA polymerase enzyme. Full name is DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. That's all. Okay. That phenomena is called initiation. Next to elongation. After entry of RNA polymerase enzyme into DNA, it synthesizes RTP. RTP stands for ribonucleoside triphosphates. Okay. Ribonucleoside triphosphates provide new nucleotide sequence that is complementary to template strand. Suppose on template strand A, adenine is there, means RTP synthesize uracil. T means adenine. G means cytosine. C means guanine. Hence, due to the activity of ribonucleoside triphosphates, RNA polymerase enzyme synthesize a new strand that is called RNA. Right? Hence, RNA is synthesized particularly from template strand. See, red color strand indicates template strand. Template polarity 3' to 5'. Coding strand provide just support for template strand. Hence, template strand synthesize RNA. Understood? So, this process occurs along the length of the DNA segment. Hence, it is called elongation. Once RNA polymerase enzyme enter into DNA means it run along the length of the DNA. It break bonds and facilitate the opening of DNA helix. Hence, it is called elongation. Then what happened? Sigma factor fall off from DNA. After entry of enzyme into DNA, then no use of sigma factor. hence sigma factor fall off from DNA. Then go through termination. Termination means climax stage. Climax stage. Okay. At this stage, rho factor. This is rho factor. Rho factor means releasing factor. Five prime, 3 prime, mRNA or RNA. mRNA or RNA. Ribonucleic acid. See, termination means climax stage of transcription. When RNA polymerase enzyme reaches to terminator region, immediately rho factor binds with the RNA polymerase enzyme. What is the site of rho factor? Cytoplasm. It is present in cytoplasm of bacteria. When RNA polymerase enzyme reaches to terminator, immediately rho factor binds with the polymerase enzyme and it releases enzyme from DNA. Hence, enzyme along with the rho factor fall off from DNA. At the same time, on the other hand, completely formed RNA also fall off from DNA. That phenomena is called termination. It indicates climax stage of the transcription in prokaryotes. 3 steps important: initiation, elongation, termination important. Next, what are the factors involved in transcription in prokaryotes? Sigma factor, rho factor. Sigma factor acts as initiation factor, rho factor acts as releasing factor. That's all. We are expecting questions from this area based on diagrammatic representation or steps or different types of factors and enzyme. Enzyme name also very important: DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. Clear? Next, one more point. Out of 2 strands, which strand synthesize RNA? Template strand synthesize RNA. Template strand only synthesize RNA. Clear? Next, transcription in eukaryotes. Transcription in eukaryotes. Very, very important for objective exam. So, dear students, focus on this area. Try to understand the concept. Then practice objective questions after completion of watching video. Transcription in eukaryotes. Example: plants, animals, fungus, except kingdom Monera members. Go through diagrammatic representation. So before going to discuss about transcription in eukaryotes, you must know enzyme types of enzymes. DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme are of 3 kinds, namely RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. 3 enzymes, their products very important. Polymerase 1 enzyme transcribe rRNA, ribosomal RNA. Ribosomal RNA. It is again R of 3 kinds: 28S ribosomal RNA, 18S ribosomal RNA, and 5.8S RNA. 3 types. Polymerase 2 enzyme transcribe hnRNA. hnRNA stands for heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is precursor of mRNA. Precursor of mRNA. HN stands for heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is made up of both exons and introns. Next, RNA polymerase 3 transcribe tRNA, 5S RNA, and SN RNA. SN RNA. SN means small nuclear RNA. Small nuclear RNA. Three types of enzymes and their products important. There is chance question paper setter focus on this area and prepare questions from this area. You must by heart this concept and practice objective questions based on this concept. RNA polymerase 1 enzyme transcribe rRNA means ribosomal RNA. It is again R of three kinds. 23S ribosomal RNA, 18S ribosomal RNA and 5.8S ribosomal RNA. RNA polymerase 2 enzyme transcribe hnRNA. It is also called precursor of mRNA. hnRNA stands for heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is made up of both exons and introns. Hence, hnRNA also called split genes. Third one, RNA polymerase 3 enzyme transcribe tRNA transfer RNA. 5S RNA and SN RNA. SN stands for small nuclear RNA. Clear? Now, we will discuss transcription in eukaryotes. Very important. What is the site of transcription in eukaryotes? Nucleoplasm. Because eukaryotic cell, it has specific nuclear membrane around the nuclear material. But in prokaryotes, there is no specific nuclear membrane around the nuclear material. That is the main difference. Go through once diagrammatic representation. A segment of DNA okay, 5 prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime. Remember, red color template strand, and a black color coding strand. Base pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because each loop has 4 base pairs. 4 base pairs. Okay. Promoter region, terminator region, structural gene. Same mechanism. Promoter region, the structural gene, terminator region. Structural gene consists of limited number of base pairs. Same like in prokaryotes, in eukaryotes also, RNA polymerase enzyme, DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme enter into DNA and promoter region. RNA polymerase enzyme. Then if once enzyme enter into DNA means it break hydrogen bonds between two strands and it facilitate the opening of DNA helix. Right? Then RNA polymerase enzyme synthesize RTP. RTP stands for, just now I told, ribonucleoside triphosphates. Ribonucleoside triphosphates synthesize new nucleotide sequence that is complementary to template strand. Clear? Hence, that sequences synthesize mRNA, messenger RNA. Actually, it is hnRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Intron, red color, exon. Right. hnRNA means heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is precursor of mRNA. when RNA polymerase enzyme reaches to terminator region, RNA polymerase enzyme fall from DNA with the help of releasing factor, that is the Rho factor. On the other hand, fully formed, fully developed hnRNA also fall off from DNA. Right? hnRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. This is fully formed. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Then what happened? First capping takes place. Capping. What is capping? Capping means methyl guanosine triphosphate. Methyl guanosine triphosphate bind with the hnRNA at fifth end like cap. Hence it is called capping. Methyl guanosine triphosphate origin from GTP, guanosine triphosphate. Guanosine triphosphate gives rise methyl guanosine triphosphate that binds with hnRNA at fifth end like cap. Hence it is called capping. Next to splice tailing. 5 prime, 3 prime, methyl guanosine triphosphate. It is tailing. Poly-A tail. Poly-A tail is made up of nearly about 200 to 400 adenine residues. Sorry, 200 to 300 adenine residues. 200 to 300 adenine residues once join with each other like a chain, and it looks like tail. Hence it is called poly-A tail. A means adenosine residue. Tail attached with hnRNA at the third end. Hence it is called poly-A tail. It is also called polyadenylation. Okay, that is called tailing. A process of attachment of poly-A tail with hnRNA at the third end is called tailing. Tailing followed by splicing. What is splicing? A process of removal of introns and joining of exons is called splicing. Observe carefully. In splicing, what happened? Flattened shaped introns turn into spherical shape. Then detached from RNA. That is called splicing. Removal of introns and joining of exons is called splicing. Splicing result in processed mRNA. Or active mRNA. Messenger RNA. Understood? This is the mechanism of transcription in eukaryotes. Once repeat. A segment of DNA, promoter region, structural gene, terminator region. Transcription begins from promoter, continue along the length of the DNA segment, ends at terminator region. DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme enter into DNA at promoter region, break hydrogen bonds between two strands, and it facilitates the opening of DNA helix. RNA polymerase enzyme synthesize a substrate called RTP. RTP stands for ribonucleoside triphosphate, which synthesize new nucleotide sequence that is complementary to template strand. Hence, template strand synthesize hnRNA. When RNA polymerase enzyme reaches to terminator, immediately completely formed hnRNA fall off from DNA. That is called precursor of mRNA. hnRNA made up of two segments, introns, exons. Hence it is called split gene. After formation of hnRNA, some changes occur in hnRNA. That changes together called post-transcriptional changes. That means what? After completion of transcription, some changes occur in hnRNA. That all changes together called post-transcriptional changes. First step, capping. Second step, tailing. Third step, splicing. Three steps important in order. Sometimes they prepare questions based on what are the steps sequentially occur in post-fertilization events. Post-transcriptional events. First step, capping. Second step, tailing. Third step, splicing. Three steps important. Capping means methyl guanosine triphosphate attached with hnRNA at the fifth end like cap is called capping. Tailing means poly A tail attached with hnRNA at the third end is called polytailing. It's made up of nearly about 200 to 300 adenine or adenosine residues. Splicing means a process of removal of introns and joining of exons, termed as splicing. Splicing results in processed mRNA. This is the mechanism of transcription in eukaryotes. This whole process takes place within the nucleus. The end product of transcription is mRNA, processed mRNA, active mRNA. Later, mRNA transferred to cytoplasm. How? Through nuclear pore. Nucleus covered with nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane consists of large number of nuclear pore. Through nuclear pore, mRNA transferred to cytoplasm. Within the cytoplasm, it enters into translation mechanism. That's it. Right? Topic very important. After completion of transcription, next concept, genetic code. Genetic code. What is code? What is codon? Amino acids. Number of amino acids. Okay. And three scientist names. Their discovery is important. Hargobind Khurana, Marshall Nirenberg, and Severo Oka. These three scientists together performed experiments on code. What is codon? A famous scientist, Hargobind Khurana. Chemical method developed by Hargobind Khurana. It is instrumental in synthesis of mRNA molecule with defined sequences. It explained what is codon, what is code, importance of code and all. Second scientist, Marshall Nirenberg developed a cell-free system for protein synthesis. Finally, it helped the codon is deciphered. The code is deciphered. What is code? The understanding of code and codon possible by Nirenberg experiments. Next to Severo Oka, a scientist. Severo Oka developed an enzyme, that is the polynucleotide polymerase enzyme. Also called Severo Oka enzyme. The Severo Oka enzyme synthesizes mRNA in template independent manner. Without involvement of template, enzyme itself synthesizes mRNA, that is called template independent manner. Three scientist names, their inventions or discoveries regarding mRNA and code, very very important. Now we will discuss genetic code. Genetic code. A famous scientist, George Gamow developed coding system. each and every codon is made up of 3 nucleotides. Nucleotide means bases: adenine, uracil, guanine, cytosine, except thymine. Okay. So George Gamow developed genetic code, and he confirmed each and every codon is basically made up of only 4 different types of nucleotides, namely UCAG. Go through box point, UCAG. U means uracil, cytosine, adenine, guanine. UCAG. First position, second position, and third position. Do you know how to write codon sequence? Very simple concept. Select each letter from each position. From first position 1 letter, from second position 1 letter, and from third position another letter. Let me show. U, uracil, U. Next UC, uracil, cytosine. UA, uracil, adenine. Again UG, uracil, guanine. Very simple, don't confuse. Concentrate on this area. From each and every position select one letter each time. U. Again UC, UA, UG. Okay. Uracil common. Then add UCAG sequence. UCAG. That's all. Very easy. Okay. I show one more example. UC. Write 4 times. UC. You can write 4 times. Uracil, cytosine. UC. Then you can add UCAG. That's all. Next UA. Uracil, adenine. Write 4 times. UA, UCAG. That's all. Next UG. Write 4 times. UG. Write UCAG. Next, second, CU. Write 4 times. CU. Add UCAG. Uracil, cytosine, adenine, guanine. Next CC, write 4 times. CC. Add UCAG. UCAG. Next CA, cytosine, adenine. Write 4 times. CA. Add UCAG. UCAG. Clear? Next CG. Add for UCAG. That's it. Next AU. Write 4 times. Adenine, uracil. Write 4 times. AU. Then you can add the same sequence UCAG. AC. Write 4 times. AC. Add UCAG. Next AA. Adenine. Write 4 times. Add UCAG. Clear? Very easy. Next AG. Write 4 times. Adenine, guanine. AG. Add UCAG. Over. Then last column GU. Guanine, uracil. GU. Then you can add UCAG. Next GC. guanine, cytosine. Write 4 times. GC, 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 UC, AG. Next GA. Write 4 times. GA, 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 GA. Add UCAG, UCAG. Last column GG. Write 4 times. Guanine, guanine. GG, GG, GG. Add UCAG. That's all. What is the total number of codons? Actually, codon are of 3 kinds: single code, doublet code, and triplet code. But single code, doublet code out of NCERT syllabus, go through directly triplet code. 4 into 4 into 4, that equals to 64. 4 4 ja 16. 16 4 ja 64. Okay, what is the total number of codons in triplet code? Means 64. You no need to remember all 64 codons. You just concentrate on particular examples. I show UU, triple U means phenylalanine. Here you must remember all 20 amino acids, their triple letter code, which already covered in previous year, first PUC, the chapter biomolecules. Okay, all 20 amino acids, their triplet code also essential and important for genetic code, right? PHE stands for phenylalanine. Isoleucine, leucine, LEU, leucine, 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 leucine. Next, isoleucine, isoleucine, 4 times, sorry 3 times. Then MET, methionine, important. Valine, right, valine 4 times. Serine, SER, stands for serine, right, 4 times. Proline, PRO, stands for proline, right, 4 times. Next, threonine, threonine, right, 4 times. 1 2 3 4 times. Next, go through alanine, right, 4 times. Glycine, GLY, glycine also, right, 4 times. GLY, glycine, glycine, glycine. Arginine, ARG means arginine, arginine, arginine. Serine 2 times, arginine 2 times. UAA stop codon, UAG also stop codon, UGA also stop codon, right? And UGG tryptophan. TRP tryptophan. Remember some codons for NEET objective exam. Suppose triple U, triple C, triple A, and triple G. Triple E code for phenylalanine, triple C code for proline, triple A code for lysine, LYS, lysine, and triple G code for glycine. Okay, some codons, each codon code one specific amino acid, but each amino acid is made up of many codons. Important, there are 2 statements. First statement, each codon code for one specific amino acid. Second statement, each amino acid may have more than one codon. 2 statements important, two conditions very important. An example, leucine. LEU. Leucine has 6 codons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Serine also has 6 codons. Here 4, here 2. Serine has 6 codons. And glycine, not glycine, arginine, ARG. Arginine has 6 codons. Here 4, here 2. 4 plus 2. Okay. Arginine has 6 codons. Understood? And some amino acids may have 4 codons. Example, valine, proline, threonine, and alanine, glycine. These are the amino acids, 5 types of amino acids having 4 codons. Each one has 4 codons. Understood now? But methionine has only 1 codon. Tryptophan also has only 1 codon. These are the main concepts from genetic code. Remember, my dear students, don't forget George Gamow, a famous scientist, a biochemist, first proposed genetic code. He used only 4 nucleotides for all types of codons. What are 4 nucleotides? U, C, A, G. Uracil, cytosine, adenine, guanine. If you observe any codon, each and every codon is made up of 3 nucleotides. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nucleotide means nothing but nitrogen base, that's all. Okay. Out of 64 codons, all 64 codons code for 20 amino acids. Out of 64, 3 codons are nonsense codons. Nonsense codons also called stop codons. Stop codons. UAA, UAG and UGA. These 3 are called stop codons. Stop codons stop the process of translation. It never code for any amino acid. Hence, stop codons also called nonsense codons. 64 minus 3. 64 minus 3 means total 61 codons. 61 codons code for 20 different types of amino acids. PHE, phenylalanine. LEU, leucine, isoleucine, methionine, valine, serine, proline, threonine, alanine. Okay, and the rest of the amino acids also try to remember. Okay, it is tryptophan, arginine, serine, arginine, glycine, etc. I wrote some examples. Out of 20 amino acids, leucine, serine and arginine has 6 codons. Valine, proline, threonine, alanine and glycine they have 4 amino acids, means 4 codons. Methionine acts as start codon in all living organisms. Even valine, GUG, valine also act as start codon in some prokaryotes, in some lower living organisms. But a majority of higher living organisms, methionine, AUG, act as start codon. It initiates the process of translation. Hence, it is also called initiation codon. Methionine perform dual functions. On one hand, it code for AUG, means methionine. On the other hand, it acts as initiation codon, start codon in case of translation mechanism. That is the importance of methionine. In case of lower living microbes or prokaryotes, GUG also act as start codon. Triple U, phenylalanine. Triple C, some exceptions, very important, because the total codon made up of same nucleotides. Triple U, triple C, triple A, triple G. That is important. Triple U code for phenylalanine. Triple C code for proline. Triple A code for lysine. Triple G code for glycine. That's all. Right? Next, tryptophan and methionine, these 2 amino acids having single codon out of 20 amino acids. Right? Next, isoleucine. Isoleucine has 3 codons, AUU, AUC and AUA. Important concepts. Then go through salient features of genetic code. salient features of genetic code also very important. 6 points are there. Remember all 6 points. NCERT concept. First point, genetic code is commaless. No punctuation, no comma, no colon, no semicolon. Hence, genetic code is commaless, no punctuations. Genetic code has start codon and a stop codon. Some codons act as start codons. Example, AUG and GUG. And some codons act as stop codons. UAA, UAG and UGA. That's all. Stop codons also called nonsense codons. Next, genetic code is unambiguous. Unambiguous means specific. One specific codon code for one specific amino acid. An example, UCU codon always code for serine but not other amino acids. One more example, triple U code for phenylalanine always phenylalanine. Triple G code for glycine always. That means what? One specific codon code for one specific amino acid. But one amino acid may have more than one codon. These two important. These two statements important. Don't confuse here. So genetic code is unambiguous, means specific. Okay. Next, genetic code is degenerate. Degenerate means multiple. Each amino acid may have more than one codon. That is called degenerate. Isoleucine has 3 codons. Leucine, it have 6 codons. And valine, rest of the amino acids may have 4 codons, etc. Understood now? These are the salient features of genetic code. One more. Genetic code is nearly universal. 2018 NEET objective exam question. Genetic code is nearly universal, not exactly. Option A. Genetic code is option A, universal. Option B, nearly universal. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. Which is correct answer? Option B is correct, nearly universal, according to NCERT lines. These types of questions frequently asking in NEET objective exam, similarly set exam. My dear students, you must concentrate on this area. Don't neglect my suggestion. Next to mutation. Mutation. What is mutation? Sudden changes occur in sequence of base pairs in a gene at DNA level is called mutations. Mutations are of various kinds. You might have studied in zoology concept mutation, types of mutations, importance of mutations, in variations or evolution. The topics are already covered in zoology. Okay. Here we discuss point mutations. Point mutations. Mutation and genetic code. Genetic code. Point mutations. Point mutations. Okay. Point mutations, best example, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a type of pigment, red color pigment. He means iron, globin means protein. Globin protein is made up of 2 types of polypeptides. Two types, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hemoglobin, he means iron, globin means protein. Iron and protein, globin protein combined to form hemoglobin, red color pigment. Due to presence of hemoglobin, the color of blood is red in color. Clear? Globin protein made up of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 polypeptides of 2 types. 4 polypeptides of 2 types. Alpha type, beta type. Alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. If any changes occur in sequence of bases, that leads to point mutations. An example, glutamic acid. Glutamic acid replaced by valine. Replaced by valine. So due to this region, biconcave shaped RBC turn into sickle shape. Biconcave shaped RBC turn into sickle shape. That is called sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. Okay, understood? Sickle cell anemia is a classical example for point mutations. Here what happened, at 6th position glutamic acid replaced by valine, hence biconcave shaped RBC turn into sickle cell, hence it is called sickle cell anemia, a classical example for point mutations. One more general example, ROM has red cap. ROM has red cap. NCERT book example, follow NCERT concepts, the NCERT lines, reason, question paper setter, 100% prepare questions from NCERT concepts, from any corner of the NCERT. Go through NCERT example, ROM has red cap. A simple sentence which is made up of 4 words. Each word equals 1 codon. Each letter equals to 1 nucleotide. Okay, ROM has red cap. Insertions or deletions leads to point mutations. Finally, point mutations leads to frame shift mutations. Frame shift mutations. Now here we will discuss insertions. Insertions. Okay. If you insert new letter B between has and red, then rewrite the sentence. Rewrite the sentence or sequence. ROM has BRE DCAP. Okay. Next again insert one more, means 2 letters. 2 letters in the same place, BI. Then rewrite the sequence. ROM has BIR EDCAP. Next, if you introduce triple letter BIG in the same place, then what happened? Rewrite the statement or sequence. ROM has BIG RED CAP.